Firstly, just creating that tension in your music more creatively. So you're creating these sort of pockets, and you imagine if you want to have a build up, right? You want to create that extension and you want to create that dramatized sort of build up that we have in electronic music. Fantastic. But you can do it more creatively because it's been abused and overused so much, and you don't want that. The key there is, so we use little key moments within the song. So we create an effect here. We do then in the second one, a bit of a break to stop things a little bit, bring that back in. More information is coming, and you're doing it musically. 4 bars, 8 bars, 12, 16 bars, picking moments. And sometimes doing it 12 bars just to cut things off a little bit unexpectedly. Now you notice how we just allow the effect to double through. I was trying to turn. Allow the effects to cut away. The tail finishes, it cuts, and then the drop. Again, we know that progressive house space, that's sort of the structure that is in place, and we take advantage of that. So we know that, okay, now we need to cut the vocals there. There's going to be a bit of a slight pause, perhaps a vocal. We want to make sure that we musically work with that, bring those effects back in so it's dry, then the chorus hits. Let's look at one more time. But see how I almost went over. And be very careful. Can I just go a little bit overboard? So just, you need to be careful. But we cleared that, we're all good. Cool, what we're doing here is bringing in next song, getting the tempo ready, getting the cue point, still enjoying the music, vibing with it. But I know here that when that chorus finishes, I want to bring in the next one. We don't have much time. So we've got to move quickly, enjoy it as much as we can, move quickly, bring in the next song and go. Another example here where I'm not really happy with what I've chosen, and we're looking through the song, okay? I don't have enough time to pick another one, but I am confident with this song that I'm going to find a different moment that I can use. Perhaps I want to go straight into the next verse. I want to go straight into another chorus because this one's gone on longer than I wanted to. Or I decided to expand on this one a little bit, and I wanted to cut it earlier, but when I'm doing it now live, felt like it needed to be a bit longer. So we're extending it out, and now we're adjusting. So that cue point now, because I've made this a little bit longer, isn't going to work. So now we're trying to listen through and see, okay, which other one can we use to connect it with that's going to work now that we've extended things a little bit. And we'll be looking at what I do next later on. Awesome. You notice that sometimes I use both, not just one, depending on the stereo image, so the way that things are placed. Some songs only have certain things coming in from one. Sometimes I just need to hear things a little bit better to really get the scope of what's happening, how much of low end is there. And you can really use your headphones as a great resource. Most of the time when I have the second one on, it's because I want to hear particularly that low end. How much information is there? Is that song going to work well with this one? Is it in the right key? Am I not hearing something that I need to, particularly if switching quickly into that one, is it going to work? So just the key, some of those sort of things I'm looking at. But that's generally when I have both on, it's just want to just make sure. I want to make sure there's nothing that's going to surprise me if I do something like that. Cool things here that obviously can be elaborated even more. Firstly, just creating that tension in your music more creatively. So you're creating these sort of pockets, and you imagine if you want to have a build up, right? You want to create that extension and you want to create that dramatized sort of build up that we have in electronic music. Fantastic. But you can do it more creatively because it's been abused and overused so much. And you don't want that. The key there is, so we use little key moments within the song. So we create an effect here. We do then in the second one, a bit of a break to stop things a little bit, bring that back in. More information is coming and you're doing it musically, 4 bars, 8 bars, 12, 16 bars, picking moments. And sometimes doing it 12 bars just to cut things off a little bit unexpectedly and bringing it back in. And then we can create that classic big sort of build, but in the shorter sort of experience. Instead of having 16 bars, you're having 4 or 8 bars. Create that build and then let things go and release. To create a more impactful moment, then we make sure that all the effects come back. They're back in neutral, there's nothing left, and then we have a clean, dry signal of the original song. When I say dry, in this case, we mean just the original song. There's no wet artifacts of the reverb, etc. coming in. We haven't blended those in. We're just having it as it was originally intended, then bringing it through. Okay, so that's a really core sort of thing I wanted to sort of present here, creating that sort of tension and hype more creatively. And this is one example how that can be approached. So go and try that out. Pick sort of a build section that you want of a song that you want to hype up into that chorus or that main sort of EDM drop, and create 3 separate tension moments that can really create that effect for you.